Hey guys, it's DC here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to get into cybersecurity from the beginning in 2023. I had a question asked of me just tonight from someone who did a coaching session with me of a plan on how to get into cybersecurity. They weren't sure what sort of things they should do, what things they should learn, what certificates they should get. And I wanted to make this video to address that question as well as anyone else out there who has this exact same question. Now, the first thing that I think you should do straight off the bat is the Google Cybersecurity certification. This certification covers a huge range of different topics in the cybersecurity industry that I think are going to be helpful to help you get into the industry and just to learn the basics, to get some general knowledge. The second thing I think is quite important to learn is different types of machines and how to build them. What I mean by this is building virtual machines. Now, you can use any type of hosting software or you can do it on your own computer. But basically what you need to do here is to open up a software on your computer if you want to build it locally that's called VirtualBox. Now, within VirtualBox, if you set up a group of different machines, like for example, a Linux machine, a Windows machine, and perhaps even a Windows server, that will give you a great understanding of how a virtual network works, what the network switches are, how the network traffic passes through this network. This is an important step that I think gets overlooked multiple times, especially when people get towards the end of a pen testing certification route and they're like, okay, I want to get into pen testing, but what's an SMB share? Sure, they've learnt about like the theory behind it, but have they ever actually built a machine? This is what I think is quite important as that fundamental knowledge of getting into cybersecurity. Now, this would be included in things like home labs and just general learning. I have a video series on how to build your own virtual lab. If you want to have a look at that, I'll put a link in the description. Now, going back to the certifications, I then think the CompTIA Security Plus is a great way to get a little bit more knowledge than what you would get from that Google certification, but to give you a really good understanding of more fundamentals, but in a bit more of a deep dive. This information is useful to get you into the industry. It's a great cert to have on your resume and on your profile. Recruiters love to see this on your resume, so I highly recommend doing this. Now, it sort of gets to the point here of if you want to go towards being a pen tester or if you want to go over to the blue team side a little bit more and get into things like security analyst roles. There is a certification from CompTIA that I think is quite good called the CYSA Plus. This is a great avenue certification to get into those security analyst type roles. Again, recruiters love to see this on your resume. It's not completely necessary though, so if you're running on a budget here, this isn't a necessary step if you want to become a security analyst. There are different things you can do and different types of self-learning techniques that I think are going to be quite useful for getting towards that job as well. Talking about the blue team side and the tools that are used, I think learning the fundamentals of Splunk are going to be quite useful here towards gaining that job on the blue team side. Splunk is a software that's used to essentially manage alerts that are coming across a network. It's used as a major tool for people who are working as security analysts, incident responders, and so many other jobs. It's basically the #1 software for any government organization that is doing any sort of defensive network hardening. They need to know what alerts are coming through and how to act on them, and that is exactly what that software does. There is a free certification that you can do for the Splunk fundamentals, but only part of it is free. I think the cert at the moment is going for a couple of $100 US. So have a look at that. I'll put a link in the description to that certification as well. Over to the red team side, those people who want to become pen testers. There's different avenues here that you can take as well. And I can't go past mentioning the Oscp here. The Oscp is the Offensive Security Pen Tester certification of choice. I don't say this lightly, and I don't say this to put out other certification people out there who are, pushing certifications. I'm using this information directly from recruiters and from what I've seen when I've been in hiring positions before. Every pen tester position I've ever seen come across my desk has asked for an Oscp. Now, there's different types of labs that you can do as part of the Oscp. There's different types of learning that you can do. And there's some really good ones on Udemy that I think are great that I will also link in the description. The Oscp is the absolute pen tester's certification of choice though, and it will almost guarantee you a job in Australia anyway. It's so highly regarded, I can actually say this with confidence, that it almost will 100% guarantee get you a job here. Saying that though, there is some fundamental knowledge that I think is quite useful, as well as some experience that is very useful when looking to have a really good profile that you want to promote to a different recruiter or potentially a hiring manager or organization that you're applying for a job in. There's lots of free information on pen testing on YouTube, and while it is hard to sift through all of the noise out there, I would highly recommend having a look at John Hammond's channel on YouTube to learn about different types of pen testing techniques and malware. Aside from learning what other people have done on YouTube though, I believe that having that experience to really push your profile ahead of the other people who potentially have an OSCP and are applying for a job is to gain some actual hands-on knowledge. Now, for me, I can only really think of two ways to do this that will actually look good on your resume. The first one, and the less likely to actually push your profile ahead of others, is to have a look at some bug bounty programs. Bug bounties are great for a learning experience. However, it doesn't look that good on your profile. Recruiters don't really care if you've done bug bounties, unfortunately. However, it is a great learning experience if you want to just deep dive on your own to try and understand different vulnerabilities and how to write reports on them. If you really want your profile to be ahead of the others though, I cannot not recommend the Safer Internet Project. If you head to saferinternetproject.com, it is a program designed to essentially hold your hand from a learning experience all the way up to getting a job. Now, I have to put a disclaimer in here because it is my own service, but it was created for exactly this purpose, which is to help you get a job as a pen tester. Twice a week, there are pen test sessions on real business systems. Now, this service doesn't exist anywhere else. I actively go out there and find businesses for the members of the project to pen test on. We go through the full stage from recon through to exploitation and eventually report writing. The end report, the final result, is what's actually given to the clients. There's also learning modules on different types of tools and different techniques to use to do an actual pen test. But most importantly, you can use this on your resume as experience. The way we design this project is so that you come on board as a contributing security analyst. What that means is you can put that on your resume and have me as a reference on your resume to recommend you after you've completed 6 months of the project. I monitor very closely the activity of members, like how many live streams you've attended, how many of the modules you've completed, to then recommend you to people to hire you. It's a great service for people who are wanting to get into pen testing. However, I do highly recommend having the OSCP before getting into the Safer Internet Project. However, it is not necessary to have that beforehand. The learning modules are designed to fill in all the gaps of knowledge so that you can get ahead and then do the OSCP later if you choose. Now, these aren't the only 2 roles in cybersecurity. There's a lot more than just pen testing and defending a network. There's all the small parts in between, which are really exciting roles in themselves. But I think if you use this base knowledge of learning the fundamentals of building machines and networks, understanding the core concepts of cybersecurity like you get from that Google cert and the CompTIA Security Plus, I believe you truly will have a great shot at getting a job very soon. And neither of these routes require a degree. Of course, it would be silly of me to say that a degree wouldn't help your profile. However, it is not necessary. It will be very helpful though, so please do keep that in mind. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do like the video, subscribe for more content just like this. If you have any comments, please put them in the comment section below, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks for watching.